Princess Kivara of the Solian Empire had witnessed 1,000 warriors compete for glory in the grand arena. She had seen champions from 100 worlds clash with blade and plasma, claw and fang. None had ever stirred anything within her, except mild curiosity or, more often, profound boredom. Then the human arrived. His name was Marcus Reed, and he looked absurdly fragile compared to the other competitors. The Krovan warrior stood 3 meters tall, with armored hides that could deflect energy weapons. The Velthan berserkers moved with predatory grace, their 6 limbs ending in razor talons. Theorthax juggernauts were living mountains of muscle and bone plating. Marcus was just a man. Average height for his species, lean build, wearing nothing but simple combat trousers and a sleeveless shirt that exposed arms corded with mundane muscle. No armor, no weapons, no enhancements that scanners could detect. Karava leaned forward on her observation throne, antennae twitching with sudden interest. Her 4 eyes focused entirely on the human as he stepped into the arena's blood-red sand. "Your Highness," her advisor Kellen said, mandibles clicking nervously. "Perhaps we should relocate. This bout is likely to be brief and unpleasant." The human refused all standard equipment. "He will be torn apart in seconds." "We stay," Karava said softly. The match began with a Krovan warrior charging forward, his massive warhammer already swinging down with enough force to crater the ground. The crowd roared. Betting displays flickered as wagers updated, almost universally against the human. Marcus moved. He did not dodge away. He stepped inward into the path of danger, and Karava's breath caught. The hammer passed millimeters from his head as he dropped low and drove his shoulder into the Krovan's knee joint. The massive warrior stumbled. Before he could recover, Marcus had scaled his back like climbing a cliff face, wrapped his arm around the thick neck, and his legs around the torso. The Krovan thrashed. He spun. He reached back, trying to grab the human clinging to him. Marcus held on, shifting his weight with each movement, staying just out of reach. His arm tightened around the neck. It took 40 seconds. The Krovan warrior, who outweighed the human by at least 300 kilograms, dropped to his knees and then collapsed face first into the sand, unconscious. The arena fell silent. Marcus stood, breathing hard but controlled, and simply waited for the next opponent. A Velthan came next, all 6 limbs a blur of motion, talons flashing like knives. The crowd expected blood. They got something else entirely. Marcus read the attack patterns. He slipped between strikes that should have eviscerated him, moving with an economy of motion that suggested he wasted not a single movement on anything unnecessary. When the Velthan overextended on a particularly aggressive combination, Marcus caught one limb, twisted, and used the creature's own momentum to send it crashing into the arena wall. The Velthan rose, hissing fury, and attacked again. Marcus met the charge with a straight kick that connected with the vulnerable joint where the neck met the thorax. The Velthan's eyes rolled back. It collapsed. 2 down. Karava was no longer merely interested. Her hearts pounded in a rhythm she had never felt before. Around her, the noble observers stirred with confusion and growing excitement. An Orthax entered next, confident in its living armor. It rushed forward with the unstoppable momentum of a freight transport. Marcus did not try to stop it. At the last moment, he dropped flat to the sand as the creature thundered over him. Then he rolled, came up behind it, and leaped onto its back. The Orthax bucked and spun, but Marcus found handholds in the ridge of bone plates. He climbed higher, moving toward the head. The Orthax slammed itself backward into the arena wall, trying to crush the human. Marcus released his grip, dropped, rolled away, and when the stunned Orthax straightened, he was already moving. He ran directly at the creature, jumped, placed one foot on its thick thigh, used that to propel himself higher, and drove his elbow down onto the nerve cluster at the base of the Orphac's skull. The impact resonated through the arena. The massive warrior went down like a felled tree. 3 opponents defeated. 0 weapons. 0 armor. Just skill and determination and an absolute refusal to quit. The crowd erupted. Disbelief turned to amazement. Carava found herself on her feet, all 4 hands gripping the balcony railing, leaning forward as far as protocol would allow. "Impossible," Kellen whispered. "He should be dead. How is he doing this?" "He is human," Carava said, and realized she was smiling. She never smiled at arena matches. The final opponent entered. A Krovan champion named Durlik, veteran of 300 arena victories, wielding dual plasma axes that hummed with lethal energy. This was meant to be an execution, not a fight. Durlik approached slowly, axes weaving patterns of destruction. He had watched the human's previous matches. He would not underestimate this strange creature. Marcus circled, staying light on his feet, eyes tracking every movement. When Durlik struck, the plasma axe carved through the air where Marcus had been a fraction of a second before. The backswing nearly took his head off. He ducked under it, got close, landed 3 rapid strikes to Durlik's ribs that would have broken bones on a human, but barely registered against Krovan hide. Durlik laughed, a sound like grinding stones, and swung both axes in a horizontal sweep that should have cut Marcus in half. Marcus jumped, not over the axes, but forward, inside their arc, too close for the weapons to be effective. He grabbed Durlik's weapon harness, pulled himself up, and drove his forehead into the Krovan's face with a crack that echoed through the arena. Durlik staggered. Blood ran from his nose. He dropped one axe to grab at the human. Marcus released his grip, fell, rolled between the massive legs, came up behind, and kicked the back of Durlik's knee with all his strength. The joint buckled. Durlik went down on one knee. Marcus was already moving, climbing again, getting to the shoulders. Durlik tried to throw him off, but Marcus hooked his legs under the Krovan's arms and locked them. His own arm came around the thick neck. Durlik rose to his full height, the human clinging to him like a parasite. He spun. He reached back. He slammed himself backward into the arena wall, again and again, but Marcus held on, tightening his grip incrementally with each impact. Finally, Durlik's movements slowed. The axe fell from his hand. He reached up one last time, fingers grasping weakly, then he toppled forward. Marcus rolled clear as the massive body hit the sand. He stood, swaying slightly, breathing in ragged gasps, bleeding from a dozen scrapes and bruises. 4 opponents defeated. The crowd went absolutely wild. Carava was already moving, descending from the Royal Observation Platform before protocol officers could stop her. She moved through the corridors beneath the arena, guards scrambling to keep up until she reached the preparation chambers where Marcus had been taken. He sat on a bench, a medical drone hovering nearby, sealing the cuts on his arms and shoulders. He looked up when she entered, and his eyes widened. "Your Highness," he said, attempting to rise. "Sit," she commanded gently. She approached, studying him with all 4 eyes. Up close, she could see he was trembling slightly, adrenaline still coursing through his system. Sweat matted his hair. Blood and sand streaked his skin. He looked thoroughly mortal and completely magnificent. "How did you do this?" she asked. Marcus gave a tired smile. "Training, technique, stubbornness. On my world, we learned long ago that size and strength matter less than leverage and determination. We developed fighting arts based on using an opponent's power against them. And we never, ever give up. You had no weapons. I am the weapon," he said simply. "Every human is. We evolved as endurance hunters. We ran our prey to exhaustion over days if necessary. We learned to make tools, to fight in groups, to never surrender, even when everything said we should. It is what we are. Karava felt something shift deep within her, something she had believed lost after centuries of political arrangements and strategic considerations. Her world had evolved past such raw survival. They had technology, empire, countless advantages. They had forgotten what it meant to fight with nothing but will and flesh. This human had not forgotten. His people had carried that fire forward from their ancient past into the stars. The tournament continues for 3 more days, she said. You will face more opponents. Worse opponents, I know. You could withdraw. You have proven yourself. No one would call you coward. Marcus looked at her directly, and she saw the answer in his eyes before he spoke. I will not withdraw. I entered to win. That has not changed. Karava made a decision that would alter the political landscape of the entire sector. She reached out with one hand and gently touched his shoulder, a gesture of profound significance in her culture. Then you will not face them alone, she said. You will have my support, my resources, my favor. Understanding dawned in his expression. Your Highness, that could cause problems. I am nobody, just a human who knows how to fight. You are exactly what this empire needs, she said. A reminder that strength is not measured in size or technology or firepower. It is measured in heart. You have shown me something I thought lost forever. She leaned closer, her voice dropping to a whisper meant only for him. Win this tournament, Marcus Reed. Win it fairly as you have begun. And when you do, I will ask you a question that will change both our lives. She straightened, turned, and walked